Hello. Hope everybody's doing good today. Day after Christmas. I had a very relaxful Christmas day. As I told y'all, we did our little Christmas thing on Christmas Eve, and it was very nice. My daughter Charity and her man Rick came up, and we just had a very good meal and good company, and we enjoyed it very much. So then yesterday it was just me and Jim and the cats, and I just cleaned up a little bit. There wasn't much left to clean up, and we just enjoyed relaxing and I'm trying to sound as upbeat and happy as I possibly can. And I am in one respect, because, like I was saying, things did go really well. But there is the other side, and I don't want to be fake about it. I just want to say that there's also that uncertainty of all the things that are going to come, and trying to just keep myself feeling upbeat and okay enough to be able to handle whatever comes. I've had a few disappointments here before Christmas, but just have to cope with it. I stopped at, in my stocking, Santa left me 3 scratch-off cards. And one of them I got $50 off of. So that was pretty cool. The first 2, I had 3. The first 2, I didn't win anything. But the third one, I won $50. So that was great. I just stopped at the store where Jim had got them, he told me, and cashed in for my $50. And I had a little extra money, so I'm headed over to Murphy to the casino. Gonna play the slots for a little while and just get everything off of my mind. Rest my mind a little bit on things that kind of caused me a little bit of grief and trouble. I'll pause it again for a minute while I think. I hate to just ride along and not say anything, but I know I have things that I want to talk about, so I'll just pause it, and when I think of something, I'll unpause it. What I cooked Christmas Eve was pork neck bones. That's something that Jim had had through his younger years, and his sister would always cook it for him after him and I got married. So he hadn't had it since she died a couple of years ago. So I fixed him some pork neck bones, and we had some chestnut bread with the bacon drippings. I fixed a pot roast, and we had spinach and collard greens mixed together, and I made some cooked carrots, And we had cornbread, because we all like to put our juice off of the stewed neck bones and the drippings from the roast that I made on the cornbread. Oh, and I fried potatoes, wedges, in a pan with some onions that had already been sort of cooked, so they had a real good flavor when I seasoned them and fried them. And then I made a tossed salad, and we had pickled beets, and we had tomatoes and cucumbers, and of course I had a dish of cranberry sauce. Love that cranberry sauce. So it was a real good dinner. And Charity brought over a variety of desserts. She brought over a small carrot cake. Delicious. I ate some of that. Wonderful. And then like a quarter of a cake chocolate. I ate a slice or two of that because I am a chocoholic. I love chocolate. And then a quarter of a cake of red velvet. We haven't ate any of that yet, but the chocolate and the carrot cake was delicious. And of course, before Christmas, I kind of, got carried away getting little snack things. Sometimes you do that, but it's nice to have it. I always keep my tree up until New Year's Day. So it's still the holidays for me until after New Year's. So we have a lot of nuts and candies and cake and fudge, and we've got some summer sausages, and got some little butter crackers and cheese. We just got a lot of things that Jim and I could snack on. So that's been the main thing that, like I said before, that I wanted to try to do through the holidays, because coming the first of the year, I want to get busy with my channel again and start talking about all the things that are going on. But right now, I'm just trying to get myself rested and in gear. And I believe it's working. I got, Jim had went to town Christmas Eve, and while he was in town, he went in the post office and checked my post office box, and I believe I had about 5 or 6 cards. So I've already opened them and hung them up, but I'll add that to my next video and show you the cards I got. Enjoyed that, having a few more. Frank and Sophie and Twiggy, we got them a few little gifts. We got Frank a new scratching post, which they all 3 can use, and it had little feathers that hung from the top of it that they could play with. Well, the only one that plays with them is Twiggy, but he's played with those a lot. And then we got Sophie a grooming brush and a comb. The one she had was getting really old. And again, it's something we can use for all 3 of them. And then Twiggy got a little bed. He's been sleeping under the coffee table a lot. So I thought maybe he might use a little cat bed under that coffee table and sleep in it. Now, we had got Frank and Sophie beds a few years ago, but neither one of them would sleep in the beds. And I think it was because they were so used to sleeping wherever they wanted to in the house. So they never did sleep in them, and I ended up giving them to my granddaughter. But we got the little bed for Twiggy because he was still, he's like 8 months old, so we thought maybe he will sleep in it. Well, he's yet to sleep in it. But I'm just going to leave it out in the living room. And I told Jim, I said, if any of them sleep in it, they can, just leave it there, and maybe one of them or all of them will sleep in it occasionally. Just leave it there for a year and see what happens. And then one other thing I picked up when I was running after a few extra things that I needed to get one day was one of those little sticks, like a little fishing pole, that has the little things on the end of it that they play with. Well, Twiggy, we had one, but Twiggy had tore it all to pieces, and playing with him, the little stick broke. So I got a new one of those. So they got their little Santa Claus treats too. They've been really good Christmas Eve. I think they enjoy having some company around the house as much as Jim and I did. I want to talk a little bit about my husband, Jim, and our relationship. And we go back a pretty good ways because we've been married over 20 years now. But we worked together for a couple of years before we actually got together at Fontana Village Resort. And we became friends and good co-workers. We worked good together. We both took our jobs seriously and were dedicated to doing what we needed to do on our jobs. So I think that's why we hit it off so good at work. Now, we've had our problems when a couple years after we got married, I guess. I believe I've mentioned before on my videos, because we lived right around his family, his sister and her husband and their kids and grandkids, and they were having, just normal dysfunctional things going on like a lot of people do. And it was hard for us because as you've seen in the video, our road just runs right there by our house, and all of them were on up above us. But we did see them and get together with them on holidays and birthdays. And then Jim's sister was sick, and she needed a lot of attention and care. So we did have some rough years as a couple. And also just the differences in the way we were brought up. I mean, he is Cherokee, and we live on the reservation. And, we just had to get used to each other, I guess. But one thing I can say this Christmas, and I've felt it other Christmases too, that As y'all know, I am a Christian. And I believe that Jim is actually a blessing to me in my life. Because he comes from the school of hard knocks also, and we've both been through a lot. And we've together, we've been through a lot. And he was also around when my sister was dying from cancer. So we've been there for each other, even when we were mad at each other. We were there for each other. And we both just feel like it's a blessing that we're together and that we have each other. And we've worked through a lot of things together. And it's not been easy at all, but we've just kept on. And I did want to say that it's not the best of relationships, but it's one that we've worked out, and it works for us. And I hope some of y'all out there can say the same thing. I mean, these are crazy times we're living in, but if you can work out a relationship where you can have mutual respect for each other and mutual love for each other as humans and care about each other, it's a good thing. I'm getting closer to Murphy, so I always get a little excited inside before I get to the casino. I really like to play the slots, and for those of you that haven't heard me say, when I first started this channel, I was hoping that I could do videos of my slot play, but the casinos in Cherokee and over here in Murphy, which is also run by the Cherokee tribe, they won't allow filming of your slot play. So I wasn't able to do that. But I do like to play. So it takes my mind off of all the troubles and the woes. But you do have to be careful. Anybody that gambles on a slot machine or tables or whatever, you have to allow yourself so much money and stick to that. Because I have got in trouble before, because I like to play, and sometimes I just felt like I just wanted to keep my mind off of everything. And that was such a good way. But I've got it under control and have had it under control for years now. And it's just my form of entertainment and enjoyment. And that's what I do to relax and have a good time. Jim goes once in a while. You know, he has an electric chair. So when he does go, he can get around real good in his chair. But he doesn't like to play as much as I do. He can play for an hour or so, and I think he's pretty much satisfied. Unless he wins a jackpot, then he's ready to play, Oh, and if I ever do win a pretty good amount of money, I always call him and tell him. And he used to have his own truck, and there were a few times that when I did win a little chunk of change, and I'd call him and tell him that he'd get in his truck and come on up, and we'd both play for, several hours, and he'd have a really good time. But he doesn't have his truck anymore, so if I win, I'll have to go back home with some money, of course, and maybe we can come another day. So anyway, just wanted to check it. Oh, let me tell you about my t-shirt. I got several really nice gifts, but one thing I wanted to tell you about is that I got a t-shirt from my daughter and Rick, and it's blue, and it has Grammy's views on it. Subscribe, like, and share in white lettering on it. And I was just so tickled with that t-shirt. So maybe on my next video, I'll wear it and show it to y'all. But I got some really nice gifts. And I hope everybody else has had a good Christmas and the rest of the holidays. Enjoy them and take some time for yourself and relax. And then when this new year starts, let's get busy and try to get this country back on the right track to helping everyone in the United States, not just the selected few, but everyone. Love to all, Grammy.